Well, Ulises, not the best showing against the Toronto Blue Jays, losing 2 of 3 to close out all the Rays home games in the regular season. However, they do have the top wild card for the 2023 playoffs.
There were some bright moments and some not so bright moments. And maybe the bright moments were when we were at the Trop, Kevin.
Mhm.
So maybe let's talk about that starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Apple. It runs the gamut pretty much. You can also find us on the social medias, Twitter, X, I should say, and Instagram, and email us anytime with a mailbag question or two, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Ulises, we said we would be at the game on Saturday afternoon, and we kept and fulfilled our promise. I will acknowledge that you were at the Trop much earlier than I was at the Trop. So you came away with a giveaway, a figurine, and you got to catch or take a close gander at the new statues that have been unveiled. A pair of statues, if I recall, one showcasing Evan Longoria, the other showcasing Aki Iwamura.
Yes, and they looked good, man. I understand that I saw some comments on anti-social media that it was starting to peel, like the statues on the bottom. They have like a little excerpt. Apparently, they started to peel by the end of the day. I did not see that. When I saw them, they look good, but anti-social media told me that they were peeling. I'm sure that'll be fixed. But yeah, no, the statues themselves look incredible. They look incredible, and so that's a very cool, add-on to Tropicana Field, and something that we probably should have seen happen a long time ago. But you don't have to just. I'm happy that they're there. I'm happy that they're done, and it's really cool, and that now there's like lore attached to this franchise. Now there's like some magic moments attached to the past of this franchise, and it's very cool because we were able to live through those moments live, and that's something that when you're a kid you don't really understand, and you feel that it's so far away, when it probably was like 5 years before you were born, but it's just everything that before you're born, it just feels like so antiquated. And now that we're getting some age and some rings around our bones, we are now part of this class of like, oh no, I remember the Ray Hawk. I was 17 when that was happening. It's pretty cool.
No, it's good to see, and it's about time, and it just cements that the Rays are going to be in the St. Petersburg area for a very, very long time. I don't know if they're going to have to relocate those statues, but they will be a part of the history for a very, very long time. And we have mentioned this before. The stadium was due for some placemaking, be it a statue, be it a mural, be it some plaques, a history garden, whatever it may be, something where you walk around the ballpark and you can stand, look, take a picture, and kind of waft in the history that is. So that was really good to see. And I think the Rays did a good job with that for sure. And shout out to a couple of our listeners that we were able to encounter during the course of the ball game. First big shout out to Sarah Giberson for providing me with a ticket free of charge to the ball game. Really, really great seats. I'm kind of ashamed that I arrived so late to the game, although I didn't have to pay for parking. So that was a win in that respect. So shout out to her. She goes to a lot of games. She is a diehard, dedicated Rays fan, and she's one of the few, at least that we know of, that is glad to see the Rays remain in St. Pete because she lives in the Pinellas County area and can get to the ball games relatively seamlessly. So that was one. The other is Cooper, who trekked from a very long distance to catch the Rays play.
Yeah, and Cooper is his girlfriend. I definitely I'm blanking on the name right now because it's 7 a.m. So I'm sorry, Cooper's girlfriend. But yeah, they were very nice, and they're both doing PT school. They're going to be done in May, which is very exciting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they can find jobs around the Tampa Bay area so that we get to see them at the Trop a little bit more often, and that Cooper's girlfriend's New York secret stays a secret, and she just wears Tampa Bay Rays stuff now. Yeah.
Right. And you mentioned maybe finding a job in the Tampa Bay area to go to more Rays games at the Trop and in the new stadium once that comes to fruition. Based on the amount of injuries that are piling up and that have piled up over the course of this franchise, maybe they could use a couple other PT specialists in the coming future. That might be a budget item that Stu Sternberg, Brian Auld, Matt Silverman, Eric Neander and company need to invest. And
it's everybody
going forward.
It's I mean, what are we talking about here now? Luke Raley, Randy Rosarena day today, Yandy Diaz day today, Brandon Lau out for the season.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the pitchers. Everybody's Robert Stevenson couldn't come in on, I believe, Saturday's game because of a neck issue.
Mm-hmm. We're good. And part of the issue, I think, is, neck issue, maybe not, but the artificial turf, I do think, provides some wear and tear, unfortunately, and there's going to be artificial turf in the new stadium. So that's going to be something that has to be considered and worked with going forward. But regardless, it was great to go to the game and check out what was a really, really solid crowd, and a little bit hair pulling, intense, because it should have been a relatively easy victory for the Rays, considering they were up 5-0. They were singing sweet by the time I got to the game, and then the wheels came off very quickly. But the comeback, did it go into extra innings or just the bottom of the ninth?
Bottom of the ninth.
Okay, between Curtis Mead and Junior Caminero not hitting into a double play, and then Josh Lowe being a savior, that was a really, really special moment to end that Saturday game.
No, yeah, it was fantastic, and Josh Lowe has just been incredible with runners in scoring positions with 2 out. I mean, the guy has just been the definition of clutch in those situations. Oh, damn, I said clutch. Now the analytics nerds are going to lose their minds, Kevin. Oh no, they don't believe in clutch. No, no, it was fantastic to see that live. I actually have gotten to see a couple of walk-offs this year, which is fantastic. And it makes sense because the Rays have actually had 11 walk-offs this year, and they have the best home record in the 2023 season in MLB at 53-28. So pretty impressive stuff what they were able to do. Of course, it is backed up by a tremendous April at home.
Right.
And but no, they did their job, and that's okay. I mean, however the W's come, they did. And so 53-28, that's awesome, and it should be commendable.
Yeah. And Josh Lowe taking a 96 fastball in and punching it down the line the other way from Jordan Romano. That's clutch in a big moment, key moment like that. So, and to all the other guys that contributed in the bottom half of that inning as well. We have much more to discuss, but first we have to tell you this. You've trusted DoorDash to deliver your restaurant favorites, and now you can get grocery delivery that actually delivers too. With thousands of grocery stores to choose from, you'll find the best in your neighborhood and boost your local economy with each and every order. You'll get exactly what you ordered, or they'll make it right. So sit back and enjoy quality groceries just like you picked them yourself. Want even more value? You can save on all your grocery and restaurant favorites with a $0 delivery fee on all eligible orders with what they call a Dash Pass membership. With easy substitutions right in the app and best-in-class customer support, DoorDash delivers groceries exactly how you want it. So get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to a $20 value when you use code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB at checkout. It is a limited time offer and terms apply, and I'll repeat it a couple more times here. That's a 50% off up to $20, no minimum subtotal, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code LOCKEDONMLB. Take notes, rule of 3. Here's your final warning reminder. Don't forget that that is code LOCKED on MLB for 50% off your first order with DoorDash.
Maybe you use that code tonight when it goes bum 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 da na na na. It's Monday Night Football because guess what? The Bucks are playing the Eagles tonight at 7:15. Yeah.
Big news. Ulises is now the new host of the Locked On Bucks podcast. Get ready for it. What kind of defensive scheme are the Bucks going to deploy against the Eagles?
I think the biggest strategy that they can do right now is try to let the offense from the Eagles do as little as possible. I think that's what the defense should do. A T formation, perhaps. Okay. And I think the Bucks need to run the ball a little bit more. I think that's what they should do. Honestly, no, I don't think that they should do that. Baker should just throw the damn pigskin.
Just have Baker run and throw and toss it up to Mike Evans as well.
Exactly. Or just copy the great BJ Daniels and scramble, baby. Scramble.
BJ Daniels, who somehow played 5-6 years in the NFL.
Ring?
7th round draft pick.
He won a ring, didn't he?
Yeah, with the Giants, if I recall.
And the Seahawks.
Maybe he won 2 rings.
What a guy.
Holy cow.
Biggest plate of food I ever saw in Argo's cafeteria, USF. BJ Daniels. I have never seen somebody pile so much food on a plate in my life.
You had to make weight. You got to make weight playing college football. You got to keep up those pounds. He was, I think, 6'1", 215, 220. He was a very solidly built guy. Yeah. So, all right, enough football talk. Let's get into more Rays baseball talk. Normally on Mondays, we do our takeaways and observations from the weekend. We discussed that. We went to the game on Saturday, but Ulises, anything else in the stratosphere that you'd like to bring up?
Pitching is what I'd like to bring up. Taj and both Tyler Glasnow did not have great outings this weekend. So we opened the show with a little bit of positivity, but now let's kind of nitpick here. Tyler Glasnow's last 3 starts have not been fantastic. 6 innings against the Twins, 4 earned runs. That was a big home run there at the end that got him that ugly line. Otherwise, he was fine. But again, an ugly line, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. The next time, Baltimore, we classified it as a clunker, 4 innings, 6 earned runs. And then on Friday, 5 1/3, 4 earned runs with 4 walks. I mean, that inning just got away from him rather quickly. It was crazy to see that. There were a couple of pitches that could have been called a strike if there was a lenient umpire. Some would not say lenient. Some would say a professional umpire. Yeah. But regardless, a walk is a walk is a walk. Like that's if it's a walk, now you got to flush it, and you can't do 3 walks in a row in the 6th inning and just basically hand them runs, because that's what happened.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because you would like him and others to have a feel-good-esque start going into the playoffs, and there just has not been a lot of those moments thus far. So hopefully he gets the ship righted. Aaron Savali gets the ship righted. And Taj Bradley, I hate to be the I told you so guy, but I think it was during the course of the game on Saturday where we were chit-chatting around the Budweiser porch, and I said, here's what's going to happen on Sunday. Taj Bradley's going to give up a couple home runs, and they're going to be down by 5, 6, 7 runs, something like that. So, and that's sort of what happened. There was an inside the Parker and then an amazing shot by Vladdy Guerrero. But to Taj Bradley's credit is he did get to and through 7 innings. So, I guess that's positive, but I wouldn't feel so confident rolling him out in the playoffs.
I mean, it's a positive. It's 7 innings. That's his career high for an outing. His previous career high had been 6 1/3. So yeah, I think that's a positive. He kind of saves the bullpen. That's a positive, especially. Yeah, but the 6 earned runs does give you definitely pause to say, I'm not even pause. I think right now there's a clear number 5 in the rotation, and his name is Taj Bradley. And I think most Rays fans, if not all Rays fans, would be comfortable putting that pecking order Littell over Taj. If you need somebody else that's not named Glasnow, Eflin, or Savale to take the ball in the playoffs, I think most, if not all, Rays fans would be like, yeah, give it to Littell and let's let Taj cook a little bit. Because, Kevin, in 21 games started, can you guess the number of times that Taj Bradley has had a scoreless outing?
21 games started. This is in the majors, not the minors, correct?
Majors.
21 games started, scoreless outing. Is there any minimum? Like, he came in he had to pitch at least 4 innings or 3 2/3?
No minimum.
Okay, I'll say 1.
And you know what? You would be technically correct.
Okay.
You would be technically correct. There was a start against Cincinnati where he went 5 1/3 and he allowed no earned runs and no runs allowed. There was one with the Chicago Cubs where he allowed 1 run, but it was not an earned run. So if you want to, whoever wants to make that determination, but yeah, it hasn't been many.
No,
it hasn't been many. And it's just, it just looks ugly all the time. 3 1/3, 5 earns allowed, 6 1/3, 4 earned runs, 4 2/3, 4 earned, 5 innings, 1 run. That was nice. And then 7 innings and 6 earned runs. So right now, I think he's the clear number 5. You have to have patience. This does not mean, Taj is a bust. It does not mean that at all. It means he's 22. It means that he's a young pitcher that was rushed through the minors because of injuries in the starting rotation. And you have to have a little bit of patience when these guys have to come up and basically be put in a situation where they might have not been ready for it. So right now I'm not concerned about Taj.
Right.
But having said that, I'm not concerned for his long-term pitching prowess. Short term, I would be sweating where I didn't know I had holes from if I see him on the mound starting a game in the playoffs.
Unless the Rays are up, 8-0 or something like that. That's the other thing. It's when you have these types of games and series, it's hard to win games when the opposition scores 6 runs, 9 runs. You have 21 runs over the course of 3 games. And again, we do have to exude patience with Taj Bradley. Not everybody can be Shane McClanahan or Blake Snell and be amazing right out of the gate. It sort of like with Josh Lowe. Was Josh Lowe terrific, in his first iteration of being in the big leagues? Not everybody can be that guy. You need some reps under your belt to find your footing. And Taj Bradley's only, 21 years old right now?
22. And also, the guys you named, Kevin, they also had their struggles. Shane McClanahan struggled in his first time in the majors. And do we not remember Blake Snell was actually sent down?
Yeah.
Okay, in 2016, before being recalled, or 2017, and then being recalled. Like, even Cy Young winners get sent down. Have patience with Taj. But for me, what I'm saying is right now I would be sweating bullets if I have to. If we need a Taj start in the playoffs, I'm gonna need
you might want to do a dual starting situation. I don't know. Yeah. Although I guess like Taj Bradley's strength is kind of right now just eating up innings. That's the value that he provides at this juncture.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll get to my big takeaway from the weekend. But first, Ulises, we have to tell the audience about something incredibly important.
Yes, and that incredibly important thing is that the MLB playoffs are around the corner. In fact, the Rays now have secured the top wild card seed, which, means the clock is ticking on your chance to win 100 times your cash on daily fantasy baseball. Baseball has never been more exciting than it is now, with studs like Yandy Diaz, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani. Pick more or less on stats for these stars, like home runs, hits, strikeouts, and stolen bases for more and more for up to 100 times the payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you could win big. Honestly, if you've been following the 2023 season and you've put some green Skittles on Ronald Acuna Jr. and Shohei Ohtani, you probably would be very happy. So, using promo code LOCKED on LOCKEDON, and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Again, use promo code LOCKEDON, and you'll get $100 match on your first deposit. Sleeper, download Sleeper today.
All right, something that caught my eye over the course of the weekend, somebody named Junior Caminero, who is just slightly over 20 years old, making his major league debut and doing some impressive things as well. I am really, really pumped and excited about what this kid could be. First off, based on what the Rays have done this season, they don't call up 20-year-olds from AA to the majors in the heat of a playoff chase and something to play for. That just doesn't happen, let alone the fact that Caminero started the season in high A. So he's gone from high A to the majors this season. And the other thing, too, is we can look at the minor league numbers, and they're unbelievable, some of the best that you'll see across all of baseball. But what really gets me giddy and excited is I strongly value Aram Layton's opinion, who we've had on this show multiple times. Yeah. He is the proprietor of justbaseball.com, and he believes that Junior is the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. And we had him on the show several weeks ago, and he was just raving about what Caminero can be as just one of the better power hitting prospects in all of baseball. And not just, okay, he's got a big bat and he hits the ball hard, but he also has the approach and the contact rates to boot, and he can be serviceable enough defensively, whether you stick him at third or second or DH, whatever it may be. And something that really also sticks out to me about all this is I know that Aram had mentioned something about the average exit velocity for Caminero, and I believe it was or is in the 90th percentile, which is very, very elite. So basically what that means is pretty much every time he makes contact, he's hitting the ball extremely hard, like 110, 114 miles per hour, which that is going to beget opportunities for hits, homers, extra base hits, and reaching on errors. It's hard for guys to catch balls that are hit so hard. So I think this guy is going to be an amazing player in the Rays, in the Rays organization and beyond, just based on the rarity of skills that he offers and how quick of a riser he's been through the organization. They don't make call-ups like this. The last call-up like this was BJ Upton. So I think they have something really special on their hands. And hot take here, I think when it's all said and done, Caminero will have the highest career WAR of any Rays player on, I'll say, the active roster and the 40-man roster. I am that bullish on what he'll be able to provide. Bonus as well, I just find it really funny that, we talk about the mastery that is the Rays front office, that they were able to acquire a guy of this ilk for Tobias Myers, and go back a couple years, they acquired somebody named Yandy Diaz from the Guardians, then Indians, for, wait for it, Jake Bauers and $5 million buckaroos. So I would say that the Rays have done pretty well for themselves, and a wait to see on the Aaron Savali for Kyle Manzardo maneuver as well.
And I'm pretty sure the Rays got Tobias Myers from Tim Beckham, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been pretty cool how that all works out. Yeah. The Tampa Bay Rays have traded infielder Tim Beckham to the Baltimore Orioles in exchange for minor league right-handed pitcher Tobias Myers, July 31st, 2017. Wow. So Tim Beckham ultimately gave Rays Junior Caminero. Ultimately,
Yeah.
that's really cool. And if Junior Caminero turns out to be what we all hope he turns out to be, then Tim, you did your job.
Yes.
Tim Beckham, everything is forgiven. All is forgiven. We shall not talk about Mr. B Posey anymore.
Yeah.
No, look, he just in the very shallow surface level, he looks the part.
Right. He's got the swag. He looks like a ball player. The moment is not too big for him.
No.
Like he's like you would just look at him and say, well, first off, he doesn't look like he's 20. I mean, he's built like he's a 26, 27-year-old. So if he's already showcasing this amount of power, just think about what he could be in a couple years. You hope he doesn't fill out too much, but
he's
if the strength's there right now, just wait for it.
He's going to fill out, and he has room to fill out, which is cool. Obviously, we don't want a situation where it goes a little bit too overboard.
Miguel Sano or oh god, who's the guy?
Or just like Yandy. If you go Yandy, then maybe you kind of weaken your speed a little bit, and your injuries might pile up. So we don't want that. But yeah, he has room to fill out. He is very cool in the surface level. There's some guys when you've seen a lot of baseball and you see the call-ups. And their body language is like, holy crap, I'm here. You can see it. And you can see the swings and the jitteriness
Kevin
of it.
Padlo.
I'm not,
Kevin Padlo.
Thank you for saying it, but I was just going to say there are some guys that you just notice.
Some guys just aren't it. They don't have it. They're 4A ball players, which is fine. I mean, you're still one of the greatest athletes in the sport, but not quite good enough.
Yeah, and there are only less than 30,000 people who have ever donned an MLB uniform. Kevin Padlo is one of them, and he should be very proud of that. Yeah. But you could see that he was jittery, he was shaky, and Junior Caminero did not see or hit that way. 112 miles per hour exit velo on his first single. Very cool. I was actually on a section away from his parents, and they were just having a ball. That was really, really cool.
And that was off Ryu, correct?
Off Ryu, yeah.
A breaking ball. It was a 71 mile per hour breaking ball. So it wasn't you can really see the strength and power in how hard he hits the ball when it's, on a fluttering breaking ball like that, as opposed to, a 97 mile an hour fastball down the middle that you're letting the fastball do the work.
He's generating that power. Exactly. Yeah. Nice to point out. And Ryu was flirting with a lot of 66, nice 69s, curveballs, and so that to generate that power, it was very cool. But no, I'm excited about Junior. I put it on Twitter. A lot of people, I was like, hit tweet. A lot of people resonated the fact I was like, I don't care if Junior Caminero takes a starting spot in the playoffs, even if he goes 0 for 20. I'd rather see him play shortstop, even though he hasn't started at shortstop since July 29th, than see Taylor Wall. Some people came back at me and saying, what are you doing? And I said, well, yeah, my mental health would rather see errors on the field with a possible really good 4 at-bats than really good defense and then horrible 4 at-bats.
Right.
Yeah, just my mental health. You guys can do whatever you want for your mental health. That's what I would rather have.
And I think that, depending on what happens, the fallout with Wander Franco, I am fully prepared to have the Rays prime Junior to be, again, Wander has once in a generation type skill set, but to be that, I think he has the superstar-esque quality, a guy that could be a perennial all-star, and a guy that brings a lot to the table, brings some pizzazz as well. And here's the other thing too, that I know Aram pointed out on the podcast that we did several weeks ago. If there's one thing that Junior needs to focus on and work on, it's on elevating, lifting the ball. That's something that the Rays have been able to figure out with Yandy Diaz and Wander Franco. That was one of Wander Franco's struggles as well. He was ground truck. Like, he would hit the ball solidly, but it'd be dug right into the ground. So I think that's something that they'll get him to figure out for sure. And he seems to be a guy that could be comfortable in a DH role. So it's not like he has to play in the field every day for him to make a big impact. So maybe that's something that we see in the playoffs as well. But, I don't need to tell you, but just the line that he had over the course of the minor league season, 31 home runs and 460 at bats, 94 RBI, 324 batting average, 975 OPS. And I think he was playing a portion of Double-A where the baseball was tacked. So that allowed pitchers to generate more movement and break, horizontal and vertical, where you saw bigger swing and miss and strikeout rates. And Junior certainly held his own there. So I think he's something to really, he could be a build around player going forward. So
and of course, no, it's not, doesn't do you any good to cry over spilled milk, but what could have been or what could still be.
Yeah,
we don't know. Nobody knows. But again, just to focus on the positive here, awesome for Junior. Can't wait to see him. Be patient, people. Be very, very patient. It's okay to be patient. He's going to have his hindrances. He's 20.
Yeah. 20 and, I don't know, 75 days or something like that. Younger than when Wander Franco got the call-up. Yep. In fact, I think I read somewhere where Junior is the youngest player called up by the Rays since BJ Upton.
Yeah, and it was by 3 months or something, because it was BJ was 19 and 346 days.
Yeah,
and like you just said, he's 20. Junior's 20 and 80 something days, so about 3 months.
Wow. And again, that was Devil Rays era, where it was just like, hey, we're calling up top prospects. We don't care about the development. We don't want to do anything to upset the apple cart. So as particular and specific, and hey, we really want to make sure these guys are 100% ready and marinated before we give them the call up. Not even to give Caminero a game in at bat, series at AAA tells me something.
Does it tell you that they're...
It may be a little desperate with all the injuries, but even more. But there were other options that they could have called up. Like, he wasn't even on the 40-man at the time.
Right. So it's awesome. I love it. I'm all for it. But there's definitely a percentage in that pie chart, which I've been saying pie chart a lot lately, people.
Are you doing a lot of those pie charts on Google Sheets or something? I don't know.
I think I've been doing them
a lot of PowerPoint presentations on your
I think I've been doing them a lot for work. I want that pie chart of all factors of that culminated in Junior Caminero being called up. I don't care what the front office says. There is a slice there, however small, of 0.1% that does say desperation.
Yeah, but that also tells you, like, we're going to call this guy up at 20 years old. We think he can actually contribute and make some sort of impact more so than
any other
guy who's 26 years old in AAA.
And not to put any names, but we trust Junior Caminero's talent more right now than Tristan Gray's.
Correct. Yeah. And other guys on the roster, the Durham roster, whatever it may be as well. So, that'll be something to look out for in the playoffs for sure. They definitely do need to fix his listed weight on the roster here. He is not 6'1" and 157 pounds. I can guarantee you that. Try 6'1" and 200 pounds, 205 pounds, 210 pounds. So I'll throw that out there. And something to watch out for the playoffs with all the injuries. We might be seeing more Harold Ramirez in the lineup, and we might be seeing more of him in left field too, which I'm okay with that. If we get his bat in the lineup, he finds a way to leg out hits, work out hits, and put bat to ball. So, and that's
especially against lefties. He mashes lefties. Since 2022, he has the highest batting average with a minimum 150 at bats. He's the guy if you want a lefty masher. Harold Ramirez.
That is true. So while the series was kind of a dud, we did see some positives from the likes of Caminero, from Harold Ramirez, from Curtis Mead, Isaac Paredes getting his 30th home run, making history there, and some others as well. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.